Guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Stephen Curry's 3-word message to Dennis Schroder after Warriors trade on Saturday. The Golden State Warriors made one of the first major trades of the 2024-22 NBA season by acquiring Dennis Schroder from the Brooklyn Nets, as reported by Shams Charania of ESPN. Many were surprised at the relatively cheap price that it took the Warriors to get Schroder, as they only had to give up to Anthony Melton, out for the year due to an ACL injury, and second-round picks. One person who is thrilled by the news of the trade is Warrior star Stephen Curry, who took to his account on Instagram to post a story reacting to the news. "Let's get it," wrote Curry, tagging Schroder in the post. Dennis Schroder has been playing arguably the best basketball of his career so far this year for the Nets, currently averaging over 18 points and 6 assists per game on nearly 40% shooting from beyond the three-point arc. Their Warriors saw up close and personal how dominant Schroder has been during a recent home loss to the Nets, in which the point guard took over down the stretch. The expectation is that the Warriors will look to start Dennis Schroder alongside Stephen Curry in the backcourt, giving the team a much-needed secondary ball handler and shot creator to allow Curry to get back to moving without the ball, which is part of what makes him such a nightmare for opposing defenses. Of course, a backcourt featuring two players standing 6'3" and under isn't exactly a recipe for defensive success in the NBA today, but the Warriors are banking on the continued greatness of Draymond Green on that end of the floor to help shore up that potential weakness. At this point, it's unclear if Schroder's addition will truly elevate their Warriors to the same level as teams like the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Dallas Mavericks in the Western Conference, which has been as competitive as ever so far this year. However, Mike Dunleavy and company deserve credit for registering the team's biggest need, lack of secondary shot creation around Curry, and at least attempting to address it. In any case, the Warriors will next take the court on Sunday evening at home versus the Dallas Mavericks. That game is slated to tip off at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time from the Chase Center in San Francisco. Preview: Warriors vs Mavericks in rematch of the Splash Brothers battle. The Golden State Warriors are back at home taking on the Dallas Mavericks in a Sunday evening battle that brings Klay Thompson back to Chase Center in enemy colors for the second time. Thompson showed out in his first trip to the Bay as an opposing player last month, scoring 22 points and unleashing a brand new shimmy that had his former Splash Bro Stephen Curry shaking his head. But it was Curry's Dubs who had the last laugh as Curry buried Dallas with a trademark flurry that destroyed the visitors in the final quarter. Now Thompson gets a second crack at the team he left behind as both teams race towards Western Conference playoff seating. The Dubs have been in a forever search to find a guard who could share the floor with Curry without major drop-off in play from what they were getting from Hall of Famer Klay Thompson. Guys like Sean Livingston, a key veteran big guard with a mind of a playmaker and an elite-level mid-range jumper. There was also Jordan Pierce, spark plug super scorer, who for moments looked like the second coming of Curry himself, with spectacular long-range shooting and ball handling wizardry. Now Livingston is retired and P is well a wizard, finding that other guard has been absolutely a tall order, as the Warriors system demands more than just scoring or defense. Folks, you got to have basketball IQ, adaptability, and the ability to thrive off Curry's gravity. Over the years, several guards have contributed in flashes, but none have cemented themselves as a long-term fit alongside the Splash Brothers after Livingston's steady contributions and 3 championships with the club. I remember Quinn Cook emerged as a sharpshooter who could provide instant offense, but his lack of size and defensive limitations made him a liability in key moments, and our guy Dante DiVincenzo was a seamless system fit with his hustle and perimeter shooting, but he lacked the scoring punch to truly alleviate Curry's burden. Other attempts included Brad Wanamaker, whose steady hand and defensive effort didn't make up for his lack of offensive dynamism. And what about Michael Mulder, a solid who struggled to contribute beyond spot-up threes? Even our guy Gary Payton too is typically categorized more as a defensive force and cutting savant than a two-guard who can get buckets. P brought perhaps the most offensive spark since Thompson with his explosive scoring and fearless shot-making at his peak. P electrified the 2020 2022 playoffs, but his inconsistency and defensive lapses led to his eventual trade. Warriors reunite with Kevin Durant in massive blockbuster trade proposal. The Golden State Warriors are reportedly active in trade discussions as they look to maximize their chances of contending for a championship during All-NBA point guard Stephen Curry's prime. Recent reports suggest a potential trade with the Brooklyn Nets to acquire guard Dennis Schroder and a second-round draft pick in exchange for 2 Anthony Melton and 3 second-round picks. However, a more ambitious trade scenario could completely reshape the Warriors' title aspirations. A blockbuster deal to bring Phoenix Suns All-NBA power forward Kevin Durant back to the Bay Area. This hypothetical trade would reunite Durant with Curry, forming a duo that once led Golden State to 2 consecutive NBA titles in the late 2010s. Warriors receive Kevin Durant. Suns receive Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, Gary Payton, 2 Lindy Waters, 3 2027 first-round pick. Despite being several years removed from their dominant run, both players remain among the league's elite. Durant, despite dealing with injuries this season, has been as productive as ever. Went on the court averaging 26.1 points, 6.4 rebounds, 3.4 assists and 1.4 blocks per game. He is also shooting 53% from the field and a blistering 44% from 3 and 14 appearances for the Warriors. Durant's addition would provide an undeniable upgrade to their roster, pairing him with Curry alongside key contributors such as Draymond Green would instantly make Golden State a front-runner in the Western Conference. While the proposed trade would require the Warriors to part with valuable assets, this scenario keeps players like Buddy Hield, Brandon Podmski and Tracy Jackson Davis in the fold, ensuring they retain depth and flexibility on the Suns' side. Moving Durant would be a tough decision, but the return package offers plenty of value. In addition to a first-round pick, Phoenix would acquire several solid rotational pieces who could contribute alongside Devin Booker and Bradley Beal. This would allow the Suns to remain competitive in the short term while also providing them with future trade assets to further shape their roster as needed. A Durant-Curry reunion would undoubtedly shake up the NBA landscape. Even at this stage of their careers, Durant's elite scoring and defensive versatility would complement Curry's unparalleled shooting and playmaking, creating a tandem that opposing defenses would struggle to contain for the Warriors. This trade could be the final piece in their quest to win another championship in the Curry era. While this move is hypothetical, it underscores the Warriors' determination to capitalize on their remaining window with their current core. If executed, this trade could propel Golden State back to the top of the league, reigniting a dynasty that defined the past decade. And you fan, what do you think of the situation of Kevin Durant? Leave your opinion in the comments.